Hi, and welcome to our WebRTC M120 release notes as part of the WebRTC Insights. So, Philip, what can you tell us about version 120?
So M120 is coming up, and it will be the release that will stay us over Christmas. And it comes out on December 5th, and the next one is in January, late January, January 23rd. So we have a long time because everyone is taking vacations and so on.
I'm not.
I will see whether I will take vacation. And it's a long-term support release, so it has this longer time while it stays supported, in particular on Chrome OS.
It's funny when we're starting to say for a release that stays for a month and a half that it's a long time release.
Yes. I mean, it's interesting how the release cadence changes over the year. It shrinks, expands.
Yep.
Quite interesting.
Yes. So, let's dive into it. And what are the things that we need to investigate?
So first thing is a PSA async DNS resolver API is changing. That is only relevant if you do things in the native LibWebRTC API, and you will need to update your code.
Okay.
That was an external contribution which enables the GCM ciphers by default in native. Previously, you could enable it yourself, but now it's enabled by default. It will not negotiate GCM for SRTP by default, but at least it will offer this.
Okay, so this is again for native.
This is for native.
Okay.
This is a change I'm driving, where basically we're trying to do some DTLS stuff, trying to prevent some so-called ossification of protocols on the wire. I've received pretty good feedback from a couple of developers on it, and we will do that, start experimenting in M120.
Okay.
And do interop testing now.
Okay, and the last one, I guess, is not exactly for this release, but it's still important.
Yes. So WebRTC tried to deprecate DTLS 1.0 support a couple of years back. That then broke, I think, Twilio and Cisco and I think NTT Skyway. And they had to pull it back. And because they only they barely pulled it out, so they were forced to add it back with an enterprise release policy, and that is now gone. So deprecating DTLS 1.0 in WebRTC took 4 years or so.
Okay. And you're moving the permutations of client hello in like a few months.
Yes.
Good luck with that. So I'm assuming, let's go back to the previous one because I think it's important. So if I'm using just Chrome or even native, I don't really care, right? It works.
Yes.
The problem starts if I've built my own media server or I'm using a third-party media server.
Yes. Then you need to check if that media server, what TLS library it uses. And if you're using OpenSSL, that's not what Chrome uses. It uses boring SSL, but it is still interop tested to some degree. And we did tests with MediaSoup, Janus, Pion, and a couple of others. So it should be safe to roll out.
If you're using open source.
True.
Okay, so if I guess if you're using commercial ones, you should be a bit more worried than the open source ones, simply because the open source ones were easier to test.
Correct.
Okay. Okay, now usually at this point, we move to the things to look at, but we have another slide of things to investigate.
Yes, this is a fun feature that I stumbled across on Twitter. And basically what Chrome did is they added a way to enter picture-in-picture mode automatically without clicking a button. And that's useful if you start sharing slides. And then you want to keep on seeing a video with the audience. And that video is typically done as a picture-in-picture video. And this stuff, it just is a user experience that I really like, and Super
Okay.
nice.
So go investigate this one. It's like not exactly WebRTC, but it is WebRTC.
Yes, if you're building a video conferencing app, you'll love this.
Okay. And if we have two slides on things to investigate, why not a third one?
Yes, this is a relatively new API that adds statistics on the video media stream track,
Mhm.
and that allows you to determine if there's a device issue with the user's webcam. Maybe it's attached to a USB hub and that USB hub is overloaded and the frames are not getting through, and you can detect this like that. And you're not going to blame your WebRTC part of it, but the device capture part.
So what new stats can we expect to see there?
I think it's just the number of frames delivered and the number of frames dropped. And you can basically calculate the drop ratio, which should be 0, but
0.
sometimes it may spike.
Okay.
And we currently
And
have the
then
same discussion for audio, and there it's much more relevant.
now here for the video one, if I think about that, let's say that I'm doing 30 frames per second.
Mhm.
If a frame or two are dropped, it's not that big of a deal because it reduces to 28, but I still get them encoded properly because this happens
Mhm.
way before the encoder, right? I've got
Yes.
the camera is connected to the PC. The PC itself will simply get 28 instead of 18, it will encode 28 instead of 30.
Hmm.
So it's not like dropping on the network, which is a lot worse.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And for audio, it turns out to be relevant because we have a lot of people with Bluetooth devices like AirPods. And there you
Mhm.
can see that if you have issues on the Bluetooth link, then
Mhm.
you can see that frames are dropped
Yep.
there. And that will
And
be
then,
super useful to detect.
yes, because unlike video, if I drop audio, it's not like dropping a frame or two of video where I don't really care. I actually drop parts of the things that people are saying, and I'm missing
Yes.
out the conversation itself.
Yes. And we need to get a handle on that and at least give users feedback on using a
Mhm.
bad Bluetooth device.
Okay. Next, things to be aware of.
Yes, there is currently a regression where using replace track stops the audio RTP clock. That should hopefully still be addressed before the release.
Okay. So just follow that, and this is a number of the bug
Yes,
in the Chrome bug. Okay. And almost as usual, things that you need to disregard this time,
yes, a
everything
lot
else.
of small stuff.
Okay. So thank you for this one. This one was slightly longer than usual. And see you next time.
See
Bye.
you. Bye.